So this year, I've seen so many biased, misreported, and just plain taken out of context stories all across the media. I've come to the conclusion that honest journalism is dead. I recently saw an article where a high-profile person took an interview knowing that the publisher would take everything out of context and use it against them. So he recorded the entire interview himself and then published the truth of what he said versus the published story that was completely taken out of context and used against him. Now, these tactics aren't foreign to me as I'm a video editor. Thankfully, I've only worked in environments that use editing tactics with integrity so as not to twist people's words. You might chop them up to condense a story but not change the integrity of what they said. But not every publisher and editor holds to this integrity. If you aren't familiar with how this works, let me show you. I like my wife. I think she's pretty great. She's my favorite person in the world. I don't think I could find a better wife. I'm gross and stinky when I come home from work, but she always smells nice. I don't like my wife. I think she's gross and stinky when I come home. I've seen these tactics used a lot this year to push and pull people's emotions and control them for whatever agenda. So this got me thinking, how far can you twist people's words? What kind of stories can be made from people's words? So I decided to try an experiment for my brother-in-law's birthday. What would happen if I interviewed his friends and then pulled everyone's honest answers completely out of context and made up whatever story I wanted to? Now, unfortunately, due to the restrictions and rising cases of COVID-19, I had to drop 6 out of 10 interviewees. And I didn't get to push the experiment as far as I wanted. But with only 4 people to interview, I think I was able to come up with a pretty outlandish story. Check it out.
It was December 17, 2020. The year everything went wrong.
Oh, are you kidding me? Chris didn't put out the trash again? I mean, I guess I can't have people over, but it's still gross to have the house swarming with flies all the time. Chris! Chris, why don't you take out the trash? He's not here. Where's his car? His car's not here. Check to see where he is on the GPS.
Oh, okay, that's so weird. It was on his work. It showed he was at work, and now he's in Bakersfield? Okay, now he's not even showing up anymore. I'm gonna call Mom. Hey, Mom. Hey, yeah, I mean, I'm okay, but have you heard from Chris at all? You haven't heard from him in a week? And you haven't seen him in a week? Okay, I just checked the map and I can't find him. Okay, I love you. Okay. Okay, bye.
I'm gonna call 911. Hi. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd like to report a missing person. Well, we just found out. I mean, it could have been like a week. All right, thank you. They said we need to wait 72 hours before reporting a missing person. I don't know.
He was never seen again.
The last time I saw Chris was this last Thursday at the Bible study. We had a Bible study and we went our separate ways, and that was all. That was the last time that I saw him.
Well, just a few days ago, talking about coming over and watching the next episode of The Mandalorian.
Was 6 years ago. I dropped him off in front of Floyd's barber shop, and I never saw him again.
But who was this Christopher? What makes him so important in such a pivotal year? And what did those who were close to him think about him?
The first time I met Chris, also known as CJ, like 10 years ago, And we were about to leave for this winter camp from the college group. My first memory of Chris is him walking up to my friend Isaiah, telling him about, I think it was a magic card or something that he just got. I think it was a magic card. And then him immediately running away from him at top speed. And that's the first time I was aware that he existed.
Yeah, he was born in West Hills Hospital, yeah. Had a C-section, had a lot of hair. He looked like,
He is the weirdest person that I know. And what can you say about him? He's got the strangest laugh you probably will ever hear. It sounds a little like he's in pain. Actually, a lot like he's in pain. And, you know, he's tall. He's a tall, lanky man. Yeah, he's big, furry on the outside.
Yeah, a few wrinkles, even though he's still a kid at 50 years old. Cutest smile. Adorable. What can I say? Adorable is probably the right word.
it's like a drowned rat, a white drowned rat.
A little intimidating, yells, you know, in a way that people often don't understand what he's saying. But there's more to him than that. He, you know, really, when he decides to be your friend, he's your friend all the way. And he'll even rip off somebody's arm for you if he has to. And he has, and he will again, I'm sure.
One time, me and my friend Joe, we went to this Indian restaurant, and this place is awesome. We love like everything that's there.
And CJ had eaten an entire plate of pancakes, and someone made him laugh so hard that he actually threw up all the pancakes right back on his plate.
It was like a white, it looked like a wafer, but it was like this white square. And that was the worst thing. It tasted like Windex and suffering. I don't know, I don't know if it was edible or it was the worst thing I'd ever tasted.
CJ often eats way more than he should and often regrets his decisions. He tried to eat an entire carton of puddings one time, threw up. He had way too much sushi one time, threw up. It's a kind of a constant theme in his life, I think.
As we have seen, Christopher was loved by many. But many questions remain. Where did he go? Why would he leave? Was he okay? And what about his darker side?
Last time I talked to Chris on the phone, I don't pick up any of those calls, so I don't. I screen everything.
Yeah, so it was at like this bank kind of place, and he would call in, and he would be like a jerk on purpose to people. I don't know what his problem was, but he would call in, he'd just be super condescending, and like he would ask you what his balance was, and then he'd ask you to add up the balances in his 2 accounts for him, and like subtract certain amounts, stuff he could do himself, like stuff that like any capable person could do.
He was ruthless. He would set up security cameras constantly, and when he wasn't there, he would call us to check on us. He would constantly remind us that we were expendable. He was insane. He actually was about to bring in someone who could speak to the dead into class. Constantly was referring to chakra and our breathing powers. We all usually laughed at him. And he made us buy his own textbook, which wasn't even published. The last phone call I had with CJ, we were talking about our small group of junior high guys that we have. We were going to go to an escape room. And he was very excited about it. I was very excited about it. And we just both were looking forward to a fun night.
We don't really talk on the phone. We either text or he comes over. And then once he gets out of, I put him in the kitchen sink. Once he comes out, he runs. He runs around the house like a tornado.
We're probably both at Danny's place. CJ brought some board games. We were eating snacks. And then CJ left in a hurry.
Snacks were good.
Yeah, they're okay.
If CJ went missing, there's a number of places I would look first. The movie theater. If there was any special showings of La La Land, definitely check that. Potentially, he could be in the doghouse. Could be, sometimes they get lost even up on the roof, or some neighbor knocks him over and throws him in the garbage can with his leaves. You would probably find him deep in a hole in the yard.
I'll just go with other places I've looked. I mean, I looked pretty much everywhere, just on my desk. Let's see. Looked in the kitchen. Checked my backpack. Looked under my bed. Also looked in my car. Chris wasn't in any of those places.
Someone made a report, saw this person trying to break into the house.
He ended up going to jail, apparently for bringing in protected burritos from other countries into the USA without all the proper permits, and of course selling them for lots of money. And he was, I guess, dealing with a Fish and Wildlife official, although he didn't know that person was Fish and Wildlife at the time. And so that's how he got busted. He was quite the character too, because you'd run into him in Arizona collecting burritos during the summertime, that he was gonna, collecting live and then sending back to Japan to make money off of. And he was kind of a hoarder. He went after everything. Yeah, those were good times when we did that stuff. I sure miss it.
Chris's sister, Kim, we used to hang out a lot more, CJ, Kim, and I, and she's maybe a little lower than average height, a little shorter than average height, maybe about average, I really don't know. She is Asian, partially white. One time we were at Denny's and CJ, he's trying to actually save her from his own family who's trying to murder her. And he goes to great lengths to try to save her. And then at the end, he turns on her and tries to kill her with a knife.
I was scarred for years afterwards. It makes me gag to this day. That was like 6 years ago, and I still can't forget. I can't forget.
I forgot how long we've had him, but he crawled under the house one time, and he had a really bad infection in his eye. So I think that's why we had to put him to sleep, possibly. I didn't stay around and look at it that closely to inspect it. I just ran out and told Bob.
I would replace both of my children if I could get his body dynamics.
We may never know the answers to where Christopher went. Did his parents really put him down because of a bad eye infection? Was he merely hiding in a hole in the ground? So many questions to be answered. However, one thing is certain. Don't believe everything you see and hear, even if it's supposed to be true.
What's your favorite thing about Chris?
He's just really generous. He's generous and really like, how do I describe it? It's like, I feel like he just treat most people the same. Like, it doesn't matter if you're new or if you've known him for years. He'll just kind of be straightforward with you, and just like, he won't put on like a front like a lot of people do, I've noticed. So he just keeps it real a lot.
Probably my favorite thing about Chris is that he is very genuine. He is one of the most generous, giving people that I know. And he's also one of the most fun people that I know. When he's having a great time and everyone's in a great mood, he's one of the most fun people to be around, I think.
Chris is my son, our beloved son, our one and only son. He's been a true joy to have around, and kind of miss him now that he's moved out. So we, really look forward to him coming over on Fridays and watching Mandalorian, and going out to Maracay and things. So, really look forward to seeing him now that he's moved out.
I love that, we can joke around, we can have great conversations, chit-chat about anything, and then just, have some serious stuff we can just share with and talk. And then we're movie buddies, where we go out to see movies or watch Netflix, and he's a great help. So, yeah.